For the past few days, we've had some exciting announcements in the Zombies community. We've had the DLC 3 map Mauer der Toten revealed. We're getting a second Outbreak Easter egg on Thursday leading up to that map. Overall, things look pretty good for zombies right now. But a few days ago, the community was in uproar over a new rumor that DLC 4 for Cold War Zombies was cancelled. I didn't make a video on this topic because I wasn't sure how true it was and I didn't want to share this if it wasn't true. And we've got an update on this and it's really good news. Buckle up, let's talk about everything and share what we know. Now, just before we kick things off, this video is proudly sponsored by Wargaming. Now, the guys over at Wargaming have got an amazing opportunity for you guys to play test a brand new first-person shooter still in active development, and they want you to test it and give feedback to the developers to help them in the right direction. We can't say much about the game, but it's a squad-based shooter. The play test is happening on the 17th and the 18th of June, and you have to be above the age of 18 and live in Europe. If you want to register for the chance to play a brand new FPS and help shape its development, there's a link in this video's description. This is honestly a really cool opportunity, so make the most of it before the registration ends on the 17th at 8 AM CET. Everything you need to know is in the link below. Just make sure you have a Wargaming account. If you manage to get in, I hope you enjoy the game, and let's get back to the video. Now, if you weren't aware of what the rumor was a few days ago, it was from a credible Call of Duty leaker called Call of Duty Hope, who said that DLC 4 for Cold War Zombies was cancelled and instead ported to Call of Duty 2021 as its launch map. This sent alarm bells ringing throughout the community, and rightfully so if this was true, because this would be a sad situation for Cold War. Some parts of this leak didn't make sense to me. How could the next Call of Duty game, which isn't Cold War, begin its year of zombies by starting it off with an ending? It just doesn't make sense. Nor does it make sense to continue a story in the 1980s in a World War II game set in the 50s. Regardless, this rumor spread like wildfire, and zombie fans like myself were rightfully upset. But the thing is with leaks is you've got to take them with a grain of salt, and not every leak is going to be 100% correct, and this is one of those cases, as that rumor was absolutely false. Call of Duty Hope followed it up yesterday by saying, I'm not going to excuse anything and take the L on that zombies leak, but he's going to keep the tweets up for the sake of transparency. So thank God that rumor was completely false, and the idea of a fourth DLC being cancelled should just be wiped from all our minds. That is not a thing, it's not happening. And in fact, we actually have a bit of news with another credible leaker in the community, Tom Henderson, known as Long Sensation, who has been renowned for leaking information about Call of Duty over the last few years, and especially the latest Battlefield, chiming in on this topic, saying, hearing rumors that the Black Ops Cold War Berlin map is the last DLC Zombies map, this isn't the case. There's one more map planned for September, and Treyarch still have Chronicles 2 maps ready to go, but I'm not sure if those will release during Black Ops Cold War. Now, just like with the original rumor, we got to take this tweet with a pinch of salt, but there is definitely some credibility to this, considering his background and sources and the fact that Call of Duty Hope said that the rumor wasn't true. The mention of Chronicles 2 maps is very interesting, and we're going to talk more about that a little into this video. This tweet from Tom Henderson came out before Call of Duty Hope followed up by saying that he made a mistake, which is fantastic. And on top of that, we can look at Treyarch's own wording, looking at their blog post yesterday to describe what they are classing Mauer der Toten as. Now, in a blog post a month or so ago, they described Outbreak as their DLC 2 offering. Now, throughout Modern Warfare and Black Ops Cold War, we don't have DLC packs anymore, we have seasons. So for Treyarch to class it as a DLC 2 is the clearest way to market how the structure of these zombies content drops are happening. And they know we're all super familiar with the term DLC 1, DLC 2, etc. I don't think they would have classed it as DLC 2 if it wasn't following the same pattern of DLC drops just like we've had for the last 10 years. It's always been 4 DLCs. And just because there isn't a paid season pass doesn't mean they aren't going to still continue with that 4 DLC model. Now, regardless if you agree that Outbreak is a DLC 2, that is exactly what Treyarch are classing it as. So, rolling with that, Mauer der Toten is our 3rd DLC, and in their blog post yesterday, they described it as the next chapter for Black Ops Cold War Zombies and Treyarch's next Zombies map. Not final, next. And if we go back to previous years for blog posts describing Zombies maps like Tag der Toten, they're clearly classed as the final chapter, the final Zombies map. So there is absolutely no need to worry about there not being a fourth DLC, because there will be. Now, this has been spoken about a little bit, but since the news yesterday and of course the map name being revealed, there was a leak on 4chan back at the end of January that leaked about the upcoming Zombies DLCs, and it's so weird that this 4chan leak got the name of Toten absolutely spot on all the way back in January. Now, some people would just assume that this was a very calculated guess on the name and slightly easy to predict, seeing as the map was rumored to be set in Berlin. It might have a German name and it's near the Berlin Wall, so Toten. But on the other hand, it got most of the description absolutely on point, set in East Berlin during the 80s, with huge outside streets paired with tiny spaces on the inside of the various buildings, and it says it features chunks of both Kino de Toten and Verrückt from old Call of Duty Zombies games. Now, the potential for us to see some sort of throwback to Kino de Toten in this map, since we got knacked in D Machine, potentially like a small portion of the theater somewhere in the map, would be absolutely insane. But originally seeing this leak in January, you could very easily shrug it off because it's very simple for anyone to just make something up and put it out on the internet. There are a few things that this leak got wrong as well, saying there were 6 maps coming, 1 map each season, 3 maps coming for free, and then another 3 maps tied to the battle pass, which we've not seen at all. So far, all the Zombies maps have been free, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. But looking at this logically, we've had 1 map for free so far that's round-based. We're getting a second one for free next month, July, and then there's space for 1 more, which would make it 3 maps. So then that leaves us with the 3 other maps tied to the battle pass, which could actually be Zombies Chronicles 2, but tied into some sort of paid DLC. If you think about it, the only 3 maps left that haven't been remastered are Transit, Die Rise, and Buried. Fits quite nicely. Add up all the rumors that these maps exist and they're ready to drop at any time, potentially adds more validity to this leak. Now, we obviously can't take this all at 100% face value and truth, even if they got the Berlin map name absolutely spot on and some of the other map details about it, but let's, for the sake of curiosity, look at what this final map is described as. The 3rd map is called Spusk Starly and is set in a glacier on the base of a huge snowy mountain. The map goes all the way from the Russian facility at the top of the mountain to the frozen caverns that run inside it, full of weird ruins and ancient artifacts. Completely vertical map. The gimmick is set around portals connecting the different caverns and tunnels where the player would leap from the top and land into a portal to come out of another portal in an entirely different part of the map, still in early development. If we take that Berlin is being heavily inspired and recreated from the Berlin campaign mission, this sounds like, if it is real, would be recreated over the snowy Mount Yamantau mission from the campaign, and it sounds insane. Now, we do have teleporting portals already in Firebase Z, and this leak was written before Firebase Z came out, so that's fairly interesting. Could you imagine being flung high up into the air and fall into a portal where you'd land in a completely different part of the map? It sounds almost like the jump pads from Horizon Drac, but rather than you land on another area of the map, you land through a portal and then end up somewhere else. It sounds really cool if this is true, but again, there's some other parts of this leak which never turned out to be true, such as talking about Firebase Z. They got most of that right, but they said that there is an abandoned village in the middle of the jungle that has muddy water with swimming zombies, and that's something that we just didn't see. The leak also mentioned about being able to play as Samantha Maxis in the Season 2 Battle Pass, which didn't happen. You had to buy her separately, but maybe that was a last-minute decision. But also mentioned about an operator called Eddie Redpole, which leading up to the release of Firebase Z, we assumed was Edward Richtofen, but that character seems to be dead in the storyline. So again, half of this leak seems to be true, half seems to not be quite right. So it's definitely interesting to discuss, but I wouldn't take this at face value as hard facts, because up until now, we've had quite a bit of knowledge from the intels about where we're going map-wise, but for this last DLC, it seems to be an absolute mystery where it's going to be. I wanted to make a video discussing all of this and basically sharing with you the information that DLC 4 is not cancelled, that rumor was false, and that the narrative surrounding that situation needs to calm down and just completely stop, because it's not true. We're getting a new Easter egg and outbreak on Thursday, which is a prologue to Toten, so I'm expecting some huge things and an in-game cutscene that will set the map up, which is going to be awesome, and we'll be hunting it here on the channel, trying to get that world's first. So be sure to subscribe to the channel with the bell tick so you don't miss out on that. Let me know what your thoughts are on everything in this video in the comments below. Like the video as well, and thank you very much for watching, guys.